mature skin makeup in 4 easy steps that anybody can do as part of their morning routine, and they can do themselves. So step 1, prime. Step 2, perfect. Step 3, shade. And step 4, shape, which sounds really confusing, but it isn't. So step 1 is prime. We need to prime the skin. As we age, our skin is much drier. We talked about that earlier. Enlarged pores, fine lines. So priming's very much about the texture of the skin. You want to even out the texture of the skin to give you a good base. I sort of say it's a little bit like polyfiller when you're painting a wall. You need to just fill in, smooth the lines, create a really good canvas to put makeup on. And the other thing about primers is it makes your makeup longer lasting. A lot of women, more into their 50s, talk about flushing, hormonal, menopause. So you want to use a primer to make your makeup longer lasting. So lots of primers you can use in the marketplace. I've had quite a few questions about pores. What do I do if I've got enlarged pores? Yeah. So with pores, what's interesting, you don't get greater pores as you age. It's just as we lose elasticity in the skin, our skin does start to sag, and what it does is it accentuates those pores. And also our natural exfoliation, the skin doesn't exfoliate as naturally as it did or as frequently, so it almost clogs the pores. The dry skin clogs the pores. So if you've got pores, I recommend using a specific primer, a pore minimizing primer. There's loads on the marketplace. Yeah. Smashbox actually have a really, really good one. So yeah, really important to prime the skin to create an even texture to the skin to then go on and apply makeup. So the Studio 10 one, what I was really looking for, and this is one of the products that I really enjoy formulating, because I was looking for a primer. I wanted to hydrate the skin, give it that extra boost. We've got hyaluronic acid in it. I wanted that radiance. So it's a primer that gives you that lit from within radiance, warm gold undertones. And because it's a liquid, it's like a creme liquid, you then can use it under your foundation. You can mix it with your foundation, or if you're using a tinted moisturiser and you just want that little bit of boost, and then you can use it on top of your foundation as a highlighter. Fantastic primer for eyelids. So it's really multi-purpose, multi-function. Yeah. So with primer, what I recommend is, and I like to use brushes, but I think it's really important at times to use fingers, because fingers warm up product.
That's what I was doing.
So a couple of light pumps, warm it in your hand and dab. Because with makeup, if you swipe, as you put it on, you're taking it off. So just dab it all over the face, the areas that you need the most.
That's quite nice actually anyway, because you can just sort of like calms you down and relaxes you.
Yeah, it does.
I quite like that movement. Whereas if I was putting it on with a brush, I wouldn't be doing that.
And you know, if you've got like really good skin and you don't need any coverage, that's a really nice way to give you that glow and give you that boost. Or you can just put a couple of drops in your daily moisturiser. Yeah. It's great with body lotion, especially this time of year.
Oh, you can just put it tan.
Yeah.
Well, not top up your tan, but you know, enhance your tan.
What's specific about our Glow collection, which is why makeup artists absolutely love this product, is I've got a binding agent. And what that means, if you mix it with another product, it won't separate. Oh, okay. It will literally blend, and that binding agent will keep that makeup on for 8 hours. So it's not going to drop, it's not going to take you anywhere, it's not going to slide off.
Yeah, brilliant news.
So that's prime, stage 1. Step 2, perfect.
Okay, what am I doing with this then?
Perfect is a cover-up job, because our skin does change and we see the signs of aging. That could be age spots, pigmentation, dark circles. Again, it's not as though our circles get darker as we age. It's because our skin thins out, especially around the eye. So you're seeing the darkness come through. Redness, rosacea, discoloration. It's quite a long list. So for me, perfect is creating that flawless base.
Okay.
And lots of products available to do that. So foundations, concealers, color correctors, brighteners,
BB cream, CC
BB
cream,
CC, all of them. So for me, the starting point is a foundation. Most women, me included, we love tinted moisturisers.
Yes.
And we love tinted moisturisers because they feel so light on the skin, they're moisturising, they're hydrating, doesn't feel thick, heavy and cakey.
Mm-hmm.
The problem...
It doesn't sit in your lines.
It doesn't sit in your fine lines, slightly dewy finish. And the problem with that is it doesn't give us enough coverage because we need more to cover. So if you use a tinted moisturiser, the likelihood is you're then using concealers or colour correctors. That's too many steps, too many layers. You're building products. And a lot of makeup today, the textures are really sort of ultra creamy and they blend really well. But we don't have time. I mean, who actually has time to do their foundation? Then they've got a spot correct and then they need colour correctors. So for me, a tip is move away from the tinted moisturiser. Also mineral powders, they don't give you the coverage.
Right.
So you want to look for medium or full coverage. And that's quite scary because when you think of full coverages,
yes.
I think
mask of makeup.
Yeah, mask of makeup.
Yeah.
I said that like you then.
Yeah.
Mask of
Yeah.
mask of makeup.
I will turn you into Brummy.
Heavy, thick, cakey, drying.
Yeah.
So look for a medium to full coverage that is dewy. So what I did, the best foundations are liquid foundations, right? Because they've got an elasticity to them and a movement. And I thought, I don't really want to be carrying a glass liquid foundation, and I tend to drop things. So a bit like property damage. So I formulated our foundation so that it's a liquid in a compact, so it's really easy to use.
Okay.
So with foundation, 2 ways to apply it. All over your face, bring it down onto your neck so you get a nice even colour. Or if you don't need a lot of foundation, you can just spot colour the areas that you need.
I like that.
So forehead, down the nose, round here, and onto the cheeks and a little bit on the chin. So this thing that you have to mask your whole face with foundation, you don't need to.
Okay.
So
I'm going to ask a beginner's question. Which end of the brush am I going to be using? Because I know if I got this home, I'd be going, right, which end of the brush am I going to use for this?
Okay, so this end is a finger, and what it means, it gives you precision. So just
around those type of areas.
Yeah, and just use it the places that you need it.
Okay.
Because this is ultra creamy. You can layer it to get the coverage, but it will not cake up, and it won't. So what you can do is you can use it all around the eye area. Really good tip. Cross the lids, because you know what, we get pigmentation through the lids, and actually what we want to do is brighten up the eye area onto the neck, and you literally just apply it. One thing to remember, it's the same with because it's this sort of sweeping motion, which means you're putting it on and then you're sweeping it off.
Yep.
So I like to just very gently dab
we do more
the
dabbing.
places that I need, and then you can turn the brush round.
Yep.
As I always say, there are no rules, and if they are, they need to be broken. But there is one rule in makeup, which is blend, 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 buff, 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 no hard edges.
Okay.
Then you can use that just to blend and buff it into the skin.
Okay, I will start off and give this a go.
And it's really easy. That's the convenience, I think, of a creme compact foundation. We did have, while Katie's doing that, we did have lots of questions. Jackie asked about what's the best concealer to use. What about concealers that, doesn't sit in fine lines and wrinkles? If you've got a really good foundation that gives you that medium to full coverage, you won't need a concealer. But there are certain times where concealers, and especially colour correctors, really come into play. So for me, there's 2 schools of thought, 2 ways in the makeup world. Do you put your foundation on first and then your concealer? Or do you put your concealer on first and then your foundation? For me personally, and with Studio 10, I like to put a light veil of foundation all over my face. And then if there are any areas that I might need a little bit more help with, dark circles, then I might
The kind of rosy, very rosy.
top up with a concealer. Most concealers, the main reason why most concealers actually start creasing up and really accentuate wrinkles is for no other reason that we put too much on. If you put loads and loads of concealer on, thick concealer, it's going to cake.
Yeah.
So the trick with that is just very, you could always build very, very light layers. And actually what's quite nice about the Studio 10, especially in the medium, which covers quite a broad spectrum, is because it's got a slight yellow tone where you've got a little bit of redness.
Yeah.
It takes out, it neutralises, anything with yellow in neutralises, so it neutralises the redness. If you've got, so I've had quite a few questions specifically, so while you're doing that, dark circles. So hopefully medium full foundation will knock back the dark circles. If you've got a lot of blue coming through dark circles that you can't, a foundation won't cover, then you will need to use a colour corrector. Dark circles, interestingly, are blue and purple. So if you look at the colour wheel, opposite blue and purple, the contrast colour is peach. So you want to use a concealer or a colour corrector that has an orange undertone. And then you can just literally on top of your foundation just add the peach, and that will neutralise dark circles. There's lots of under eye brighteners. Under eye brighteners won't cover dark circles because what they do.
I've fallen for that before.
But an under eye brightener usually is 1 or 2 shades lighter than your foundation to brighten.
Yeah.
So it won't cover dark circles, and if anything, can make it look quite ashy and quite grey.
Yeah.
Redness is another issue I get asked a lot, like rosacea, special hormonal, menopause, redness.
Yeah.
If you've got heavy redness, foundation won't cover it. You'll be putting so much on top of it. So you need to use, which is weird, green, because again, the colour wheel, green's opposite red, and it's the green that cancels out, corrects. And that, colour correctors you use under foundation.
Yeah.
Because you need to neutralise that colour first.
Yeah.
And then add, because all foundation is your skin colour. It's meant to be undetectable. It's your skin but better.
Yeah.
You're not meant to look like you're wearing foundation. So one thing I think with Studio 10 that I'm probably the most proud of is the textures of real skin. They're very skin-like, because I don't want anybody to think I'm wearing loads of makeup.
Exactly.
So it's got a blend and it's got a buff, and that's important as well in terms of the texture, because you don't want it sitting in fine lines, wrinkles, and enlarged pores. We've had a lot of questions about enlarged pores.
We had a lot of questions. Kim, Lisa, we've got so many names. So
yeah. So the wrong foundation will accentuate those enlarged pores. Other thing about enlarged pores, in terms of finish, use more matte-based products, because anything that's too dewy, overly dewy, almost sort of shiny, accentuates the enlarged pores, which is a fine balance, because as we age, our skin is much drier, it's much more lackluster. So the Studio 10 foundation has a dewy finish, so that when you're moving around, I want to reflect light and for your skin to look healthy.
Yeah.
But if you've got enlarged pores, you don't want anything that's too dewy. Pigmentations, the last one, is once again, I was asked quite a lot about pigmentation, age spots, and it is a sort of colour corrector, because age spot's also known as a liver spot, and liver has blue and purple. So if you've got any, and I've got a couple really quite big age spots, and 80% of age spots, in fact 80% of aging is sun damage, is UVA damage. So use a peachy colour corrector just to spot correct and even out, because liver is another word for purple. So it's the peach that will take out the purple.
I have to say, because I've got a couple there, and to be fair, the foundation's done a very good job of covering those up anyway.
And that's
because normally I would normally dab a bit of that over the top of those.
And these sort of stories, this is the thinking that's gone into Studio 10, because our needs are different, our skin's different, but also what I wanted to do is just make it easy. I don't believe I need 20 products when I only need 4 or 5.
It's overwhelming. I actually find it overwhelming. I watch some Instagrammers and they've got 800 products before they've even, you know, woken up, and I'm like, it's not only a case of time, it's a case of,
yeah,
it's too overwhelming. I want it to be simple.
Knowing where to start, where to finish, and it's got to be quick and easy. So prime is very much even the texture of the skin. Perfect is, I can't say it any other way, a cover-up job, because we want that flawless, even skin tone. We want to add a little bit of radiance, natural radiance. We want a little bit of dewiness because our skin is much more lackluster. So prime, perfect. The next stage, and actually this is where we've got so many questions, is shade. And shade to Studio 10 is colour. So it's not what's the latest colour in the season, or we all wearing coral or, you know, turquoise on the eyes. Shade to Studio 10 is adding a flush of healthy colour, because we need that healthy colour to our skin. So this is the big debate. Do you use bronzer? So most women, when they want to add colour and they want to add warmth to the skin, bronzer is the natural choice. And I love bronzer. But what I started to look at when I really started to analyse it, there was two things. One is, in the depths of winter when it's grey, and of course we don't have the best winters here in the UK, I don't want to go around with a tan face, because actually you still look tanned.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh, I'm not sure that's all year round. And what I wanted is products you can use all year round. Even with our foundations, we've got two colour pans, one lighter, one darker. You can mix summer to winter. So I was like, okay, so we need to add warmth, but at the same time, we need to give the complexion a boost. We need to brighten it. And bronzers add warmth and colour, but they don't brighten. And you know, some bronzers can look quite flat on the skin and can look like muddy.
Yeah, or super glittery.
Yeah,
that's like, whoa, sparkle. No, that's not good for us.
That's not a good look.
Yeah.
For anybody. The glitter ball is not a good look. So I was like, okay, so I need to find, so I played with lots of different colours, and I came up with peach. So peach is a girl's best friend. And the reason why peach is such an amazing colour, and actually used a lot by makeup artists for years and years and years, is because peach is made up of orange. And it's the orange undertone that gives you the warmth as you get in bronzers, unless you're being tangoed, because you can have too much orange. Peach also has a pink undertone, and pink brightens and it lifts. So you put the two together, it's a really powerful colour.
Okay.
And then I've added a little bit of light reflecting pearl, obviously in a gold, just to give the skin the boost. So I think there's a lot of confusion around the blush, and when I look back, I almost gave the blush the wrong name, because it's not a blusher. It's a complexion booster, it's a complexion pick-me-up. So maybe I need to change the name. Maybe you guys can help me change the name. So if you want to boost the complexion, this is how you use the plumping blush. As you would a blusher, so a little bit, I like to do the apple of the cheeks, not just the cheekbones. You've got that lovely healthy flush to the cheeks, and then you do the cheekbones. So exactly as you would do a blusher. But what we're trying to do is boost the complexion. We're not adding just beautiful blush cheeks. We're creating this complexion boost. So on the cheekbones, a little bit on the forehead. So exactly the same way that you...
It's like bronzer.
Yes, exactly. So when you put a bronzer on, you put bronzer on where the light hits the face, or where the sun hits. So forehead, a little bit down the nose. I like to put a little bit on my chin, and especially if we're wearing medium to full foundations, blended, buffed into the skin. But if you just put a little bit of blusher, you don't see any foundation at all. It just looks like your skin, but better. And I like to bring a little bit down the neck.
Down there.
Yeah, just to even out the colour, because what you're doing is you're boosting the complexion. And then the last trick is sweep it through the eyelids, because we want those wide awake eyes. We want, you know, we want to look like we've had 8 hours sleep, even if we've had 2. So that is how you use the plumping blush.
So lots of ways that I would never thought. So
yeah. Now, what's interesting about the plumping blush is it is a liquid, but it's very, very pigmented. So if you put it on straight on your brush and onto your cheeks, you'll put too much product on. So what I recommend is a little bit on your hand and just dab. Less is more because you can build. If you did put too much on, you can just blend and buff it into the skin.
Yeah.
So you can see on Katie how it's just given her this beautiful, healthy, radiant, glowing, looks very, very natural. So bronzer, Mandy asked a question, well, can I use bronzer and the blush? Is it one or the other? And that was a really, really good question. In the summer months, even if you wear Factor 50, I wear Factor 50 on my face all the time, but we catch the sun, right? Or we're fake tanning and we want to fake tan our faces. So for me in the summer months, start off with bronze, because what bronze does is it gives you a natural tan, because you want to tan the face up, you want to bronze the face up. So use your bronzer as normal, and then I still add the blush on top because it just lifts and boosts.
Yeah.
So yes, you can use bronzer and blush. Bronzer, if I'm using both products together, if I was going to bronze tan up my face, I would use a matte based, not completely matte, but pretty much a matte based bronzer to give me a veil of colour. It looks like a natural tan, because when you naturally tan, you don't have shimmer all over your face. And then, so I'd use a light veil all over my face and my neck to match the colour of my body. And then I'd put the blush on top, just to boost it and lift it. And then Margaret asked me about the blush, and she said, oh, I feel it's a bit too peachy for me. I don't know what your skin tone is, so it's really hard to give you some advice. But as a rule, when you're looking at blush, like classic blush, the fairer you are, the lighter skin, the fairer you are, you tend to move more towards pinks. And what I like about the Glow Plexion blush, because it's got pink in it, it should lift and boost. But if you're fair or ultra fair, use a very, very light veil, very, very light, just to boost the complexion. And then what you can do, if you wanted to mix it, maybe put a flush of pink on the cheeks to give you that rosy cheeked glow. Olive skinned, medium, olive, all the way through to broad spectrum, deep, medium blush, because it's peach, corals, anything. And then as you go into sort of deeper skins, you're moving from a blush perspective more into the deep pinks. But once again, that's a really nice colour. The deeper, rich tones you are, you don't so much get the colour coming through, you get more of the radiance and the lift. So Margaret, I hope that answers your question. And I think just play with it, but use it as Katie did, all over your face, more as a complexion boost and less as a blusher. And I think I need to change the name because I just buggered that one up.
Okay, next.
So that's shade, really. So adding a healthy flush of colour to the skin. And then the last stage, step 4, is shape. And what do we mean by shape? And actually it was India Knight from the Sunday Times. He said, oh, you're like Spanx for the... She doesn't speak like that, but she said, you're like Spanx for the face. And I was like, yeah, we're a bit like shapewear. Yeah. So as we age, we lose collagen, we lose elasticity in the skin, and, you know, we lose definition. So shape is the last step where we need to add some shape and some definition back into the face. And the two areas, and it's something that I built into the range only for mature skin, because I can tell you in my 20s and 30s, I never used to have to worry about it. So shape and definition that's really important is framing the face. So where you want to frame the face is at the top and the bottom. So it's so important to do brows, because as we age, our brows do thin out. You might be the generation that I was in where we overplucked. So it's really important to frame our face and to do brows. And actually one of the questions that Sian said from the room was, you know, I'm transitioning, I'm going grey. It's even more important to add definition, structure into the face. So brows, thing with brows, if you're looking for products, the most important thing is the colour, because so many brow products are too warm, they've got too much orange, they're too red, and it looks artificial. And I just didn't want the Studio 10 sort of look is no, you know, we have the no makeup. It's the no makeup makeup. And our brow pencil we developed, and I don't know if you know this, but we developed it with Look Good Feel Better, which is the cancer charity, for women who are going through chemo and the effects of chemo. And of course women lose their eyebrows.
Yes.
So finding that right colour, and I kept going back to a pencil because it's just easy. You know, all the brow products you're mixing and you're matching, and I just thought, no, I need to draw them in.
Okay. So this is
light feathery. So you don't draw a big thick line in. You don't want to look like you've drawn your brows. Just very light feathery strokes through the brow. Remember to bring it round to tail to finish the arch. And it is really that simple, but it makes such a difference. Such a difference.
Can you see the difference between the two?
Yeah, but you do your brows, don't you? Because
Yes.
your brows are... Do you tint them?
No. These are actually natural.
Are they?
But yeah, I didn't mess with them.
such-
I didn't mess with them for 20 years. I was so out of fashion that people used to go, why have you got massive caterpillars on your face? And then it's payback time now.
Payback time.
Because actually, I'm in fashion. For
You
once.
are.
So
They
yes.
look really natural.
Yeah, so.
I never used to worry about my brows, and it was a makeup artist actually who was like, Grace, you really need to do your brows. And I was like, I've always had amazing brows, and actually, even with you, just finishing it and bringing it round just
bringing it
frames the
round.
face.
That bit there makes a massive difference.
Yeah, because
Ooh.
you know what, I get asked a lot. It's like, how can I use makeup to cover my fine lines and wrinkles?
You can't.
And you can't. You absolutely cannot. And if anything, the wrong makeup will accentuate them. So adding the shape and the definition to the face is really important. So by defining the brows, even a little bit of definition with eyeliner or mascara, it's that sort of distraction. So people are focusing and drawn to the eye, not fine lines and wrinkles round here. So that's the only thing you can really do with makeup.
You're sort of distracting them, aren't you?
Yes.
With your better features.
Yeah, and that's what you're doing. You're enhancing, aren't you,
Yeah.
your best features.
Yeah.
So with shape, definition, giving the face a little bit of structure, you can also not just enhance, but lift. So exactly as you're doing, and most of us know this, you know, highlight the brow bone just with a highlighter to give it a lift. But actually I put it on the end of the brow pencil, and rather than it be shimmery or glittery, because I want it to be like a natural skin highlight as opposed to a makeup highlight. So I've put on the other end just a natural skin highlighter. And then a really nice trick in the morning, and I always say this, how many of us, I always wake up like this, you know, feeling exhausted and tired, and I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh my goodness, I look like I've not slept. The good thing with makeup is, you know, you don't have to look like you've had no sleep. So really nice with the brightening end.
Yes.
Is from the inner corner, you know, makeup artists will say put a little bit. So from the inner corner, just draw on your top lash line, just halfway along.
Across?
Doesn't even matter, but just in the sort of inner corner, maybe probably a third across. Quite a thick line, but on the lower lash line here.
Oh, on the lower lash line. Sorry,
Not into your socket.
Don't copy me.
Don't copy
Don't
Katie.
copy this one. Okay.
So it's just there, exactly. And then you can bring it down into the corner.
Underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can do a really big, thick, quite what, and it just brightens the eye area. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can absolutely see the difference
between the two eyes.
Yeah, I can. And then you can build and you can layer. So shape, definition, frame the top of the face with brows, and then the bottom half of the
This is one of my
face.
favourites.
And this, I think if there's one product that's got my name on it, is I always had really full lips when I was younger. And looking at my girls have these gorgeous full, like the Angelina Jolie lip. That's like, my lips were like that. But once again, you lose collagen, your lips thin, you lose shape, definition. So lip liner.
And I've
Marinette lines.
I've got some really nice little lines now that are appearing out of my lips, just as an added bonus that my lipstick likes to travel up into.
Yeah, and that is not, that's not a good look.
Yes.
So lip liner, and I was like, I can't produce a lip liner, because when I think of lip liner,
oh yeah, exactly.
It's the lip line and then the pale. It's just, I don't know who created that fashion. Anyway, so lip liner is really important. You can get clear waxy lip liners, and I thought, well, that's no good because that stops makeup bleeding into those lines that you talk about. But what it doesn't do is it doesn't give you that shape, and it doesn't give you that fuller lip, and it doesn't give you the definition. I was like, okay, so now I've got to get a coloured lip liner. The classic is you match your lip liner to your lipstick, and I just thought, I'm not going to do that, so why would I expect anybody else? And it's so confusing to match the lipstick to your lip liner. So I created what I was really interested in was the colour of lips. And if you analyse lips, because most universal lip pencils are peach, they're peach or brown based. Yeah. And I was like, well, that's if you're not wearing, and if you don't go on and put a gloss or a lipstick on, you're just going to end up with this peachy brown. And I thought, no, that's not going to work. So lip coloured. So the Studio 10 lip pencil is a lip coloured. And what I mean by that, it's got a pink to it, but it's also got blue, which is bizarre. It's like I've got a blue undertone because it's reflecting blood flow. So with this product, which you've just done, you've lined your lips, just line the outside of your lips, and with nothing else on it, it's created shape and definition. And it's really important to do the lip area because you frame the top of the face. What you want to do is frame the bottom of the face so you've got balance. And then makeup artists, I love all these makeup artist tricks, which I have stolen, but I've made my own, is they say put a little bit of highlighter here. But you want to avoid anything that's got too much shimmer, metallic, because it doesn't work brilliantly with aging skin. So I've created a bit like the brow pencil, a natural skin coloured highlight. And you just do the Cupid's bow. That has given you the most natural defined lips. And then if you want to go on and add your balm or lipstick, lip colour.
Oh, in fact, I think I do have some of that. So
then that'll finish off the look.
Yeah.
But actually most days, if I'm really going for that no makeup, real skin, I don't even put lip gloss on because I like, it just depends. If I put a bit of eyeliner, accentuate my eyes more, then I want my lips to be undone, if that makes sense. And then you can just finish off with gloss. So that is mature skin makeup in 4 steps: prime, perfect, shade, shape. And it is, when India Night said, oh, you like Spanx for the face, I was like, I don't want to be the underwear of the makeup world. Where is the glamour?
Ugly underwear.
Yeah, where's the glamour in that? But when I thought about it, I think we use makeup as a medium to do a job of work, to transform. Yeah. And it is the bra of knickers of the makeup world. And then you can add your colour story or your smoky eye or your fashion look.
Yeah, but I'd go out like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because I feel confident enough to walk out the door now and go out like that. So that's cool for me. And obviously, if we hadn't been talking all that time, that would have been really fast as well. Yeah, do you know what I mean?
It's definitely not mature skin makeup in a minute. Let me tell you, I can do this in 1 minute. I can do it in less. I mean, literally, I say this so often, and every time I say it, my publicist really tells me off. She said, Grace, you have to stop saying this. You are a CEO, you're a founder of your own makeup brand. And I say, you know what, it's got to be slap and go. And she's like, you can't say that, but it's true. Yeah. I want to slap it on. She said, well, why don't you say wake up and glow? And I'm like, because I want to slap it on and glow and get on with my day.
Exactly.
Exactly. So they are the 4 steps. I'm just looking at the board because I had a few other questions around like my skincare routine, but I just want to make sure I've covered off all the makeup ones and especially the product ones in terms of Studio 10.
Should we see if Sean's picked up from tonight any that have come up in the chat?
Actually, you mentioned that you wear SPF every day. Have you got a particular favourite that you use?
I do, and I do wear SPF 50 every day, all year round. And I've used so many products, and even though we've got SPF 30 in our foundation, I still think it's really important to have an SPF as part of your skincare routine. And I use a brand called Helia Care, a Spanish brand, and they've got an oil-free gel SPF because if I use products that are too heavy on my skin, and it's the same with makeup. This was the other thing. If you wear layers and layers of makeup, it clogs your pores, and I get milia. So, and it was the same with SPF. It was blocking my pores. So Heliocare is the oil-free gel, is the one that I found that I just felt my skin could breathe through it. And I get it on Amazon, to be fair. So really, really like Heliocare.
Sean, any more?
Actually, lots of people are intrigued by your own skincare routine.
Ah.
Any tips?
Well, being in the beauty industry, I have played with so many skincare products, and I've spent a fortune going back to the marketing and buying into all these, you know, not false, but all of these claims, exaggerated claims, and you can spend an absolute fortune on skincare. So, and I actually don't think there's a relationship between the amount that you spend and the quality. I was a judge on some beauty awards, and the category they gave me was skincare, oils, facial oils.
I love face oils.
And I'd never really used face oils before because, you know, I worry about using oils clogging up my skin because I get milia, and I'm like, oh, but you know, everybody who's an expert in oils say it's not about.
It's brilliant.
And the brand that won, which I absolutely fell in love with, is a brand called AromaWorks.
Oh, okay.
And they have they have home fragrance and bath and body, but they have a whole skincare regime all using essential oils. And what I liked about it, it doesn't have parabens. We don't have parabens either, but like all the fragrances are non-synthetic. It doesn't have sulfates. They don't have petrochemicals. It's really pure natural products. You can get them in like Holland and Barrett. They're not expensive, and I absolutely. So my skincare routine at the moment is using AromaWorks. I do use retinol. And who is it who asked me about retinol products? Tina. They do work, and I think as you age, it is good to use retinol-based products. It's a vitamin A basically, and I use, and they can be expensive.
Yeah.
They can be expensive. So the retinol product I use is from Beauty Pie. I don't know how many of you know Beauty
I've heard
Pie.
lots of people talking about
So
it.
it's a sort of beauty club that you pay a monthly subscription, and then you get an allowance to buy across their broads. Their skincare is brilliant, and the whole idea is that you are buying directly from the factory. What you're not paying for is all the marketing, the middlemen.
Okay.
So their retinol products are fantastic. And then in terms of routine, what I do think is really, really important, and I've done it so many times, where I've gone to bed. It's a big no. Gone to bed and woken up and still got my makeup.
Yeah.
So it's really important to cleanse before you go to bed. So I make sure I cleanse, then I double cleanse, and then I put some oil on. And that's my skincare routine. And I think it's important, but I think your skin reflects your health as well. So, you know, the healthy eating, drink lots of water, use your SPF. I think that has a play in skincare or skin health as well.
Yeah. I am just going to say that we are coming to the end of the show now. So if there are any last minute things that we want to just cover, we'll come back to Sean and get another couple of questions. So don't forget the discount code LIVE25 is only available until tomorrow night at midnight. So if you are tempted by any of this, and this is not a sales show because Grace will kill me
it's like,
for doing
it's not,
this.
it's about education, it's how to, it's answering those questions.
Know. But I'm a customer, so I know how it feels to get 25% off. So I just don't want you to miss out on that. And also, if you do happen to have anything in your shopping basket right now, at the end of the show is too late. So you sort of need to do it before we actually come off air. So I just
actually, on that, there is one thing I do want to say. So if there's products, you know, perhaps the Skin Perfector, which is the colour corrector, which you've not really seen before, or you think, actually, I might want to try that. One thing that we do, and this, I think, was something, my frustration as a consumer, because I was a consumer of beauty products as well, which is our 30-day buy and try promise. So buy the product, get it home, and try it. Use it every day for 30 days. Use it up. And if at the end of those 30 days you think, oh, it's not quite for me, or that's one step too far, I'm not really going to have it in my daily routine, because I would rather you send that product back and we give you a refund, or maybe even just give it to a friend, than it sit in your top drawer.
Yeah.
Because I've spent so much money on products that I never then go on and use.
Yeah.
So you can really work with it, you can try it, and then if it's not quite right, send it back and we'll give you a refund.
I personally, I think that's amazing, because I have drawers full of things where I've used them for a week, or especially with makeup, it didn't work, the mascara didn't curl my lashes, whatever it is, and that's it. They just sit in your drawer. So that is wonderful. So should we go back to Sean and just see?
Any last questions?
Yeah.
There's a really lovely question. What's the best advice you've ever been given?
Actually, the best advice I've ever been given was from my dad.
Oh.
And he basically, he said it, and then I read a book, which was feel the fear and do it anyway, which is don't be your worst enemy, just do it. And he said what you don't want to do is live your life with what ifs.
Yeah, then regrets.
So sometimes, and regrets.
Yeah.
So yeah, feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yeah, I think that's something that I've certainly done in probably more in my 40s than ever, because I think you feel a lot of fear over a lot of things, and you can't. You've just got to have a go.
And I mean, that's an interesting conversation as well when we
Yeah.
talk about sort of positive mindset and stuff, because fear has a role. I mean, it is part of that survival. It's like the negative bias.
Sorry.
It's part of our survival mechanism, because it stops us being eaten. It keeps us safe. But when there's a fly.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Fly.
you've got a nice fly around us.
But when it stops you
Yeah.
doing the things that you want to do.
And I'll tell you what, the feel-good factor afterwards,
Oh,
when
I know.
you do it, is like, oh, the biggest adrenaline rush ever. I faced the fear and I did it, and now I feel amazing, and now I'm ready for my next adrenaline rush. So, well, it works for
So
me.
we'll see you on a roller coaster then on Instagram.
I've been doing that forever. It's just more my daily job, standing in front of people and,
I did
auditions.
actually, while we're here, I did get quite a few emails, and I don't know, Sean, if you've had any, but around hooded eyelids. And that is a really, really big thing that you can actually do and tackle with makeup. But it's probably a bigger, we could do a whole demo. We could do a whole demo actually on eyes. And then, I was interviewed by the Daily Telegraph. Sean was saying, in terms of, if you're going grey or transitioning, your makeup. This was a piece on makeup if you're wearing glasses. And of course now we're all wearing glasses,
and
aren't
they're
we?
bigger than
and
ever.
they're bigger, and it was like, oh yeah, it needs to.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
interesting. And then there's lots of other things which might be another live that we can do on, am I too old for a smoky eye? Well, you're not too old to do
No,
anything.
never.
What about a bold lip? Can I wear a red lip?
Yes.
And actually, bold colours on lips and as we age is a really nice statement to make, and it really lifts and boosts. So we can start to look at more elements of colour, if that makes sense.
Exactly.
And then anything we can build a show around you. In fact, you can come into the studio and we'll have you here rather than Katie.
Oh, she's getting rid of me already. Oh, right. So
I think we're done.
I think we're done. So all that's left for us to say is thank you so very much. We are so very happy and excited to have been here with you tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it. Have you enjoyed it?
Oh, honestly, I'm so excited to be here. I think it's, the next step is when we're all together in a room. But what I love about this is the fact that it's interactive, that, we can respond, and we've got our moderators, and I've absolutely loved it. So thank you.
Yeah. So, as I say, that discount code's live 25. Got until tomorrow night. But thank you so much. Thank you for your comments, your questions. If we haven't got back to you, make sure we've got your email address. I think we asked that along the way, didn't we?
Yeah, we'll come back.
And we will try and get back to you. All right.
We'll
so
see you
everyone,
soon.
take care. See
Bye.
you soon.